Early life and football beginnings. Rami Shaban was born on April 30, 1975, in Nyköping, Sweden, to a Swedish mother and a Tunisian father. Growing up in Sweden, Shaban was exposed to football at an early age, as his father, a keen football fan, played an important role in fostering his interest in the sport. Shaban's path to becoming a professional footballer was not immediately clear, as his early years saw him playing a variety of sports, but it was football that ultimately captured his full attention. Shaban's first exposure to organized football came at the age of 6 when he joined his local team, IFK Nyköping. While initially playing as an outfield player, it became clear to those around him that Shaban possessed the quick reflexes and agility required for the goalkeeper position. This insight led to his eventual transition to goalkeeper, a role he quickly grew into, showing impressive shot-stopping ability and a commanding presence in the box. His rapid rise through the youth ranks of Nyköping's football scene set the stage for a promising career in football. Shaban's early years were spent developing his skills in the youth systems of smaller Swedish clubs. But his big break came when he joined the youth academy of the larger Swedish club, Östers IF. It was with Östers IF that Shaban's abilities as a goalkeeper began to truly shine, gaining recognition for his strong performances. His natural athleticism and leadership qualities, coupled with his excellent reflexes and shot-stopping ability, made him stand out among his peers, laying the foundation for a successful career in Swedish football. Rise in Swedish football, Östers IF and Allsvenskan debut. Rami Shaban's professional football career began to take shape in the early 1990s when he signed with Östers IF, a club based in Växjö, Sweden. His first taste of senior football came in 1994, when he was promoted to the first team as a young goalkeeper. Shaban's performances in the Allsvenskan, Sweden's top-tier football league, were notable for their maturity and composure, particularly for a young player just breaking into the professional scene. His ability to make crucial saves under pressure quickly earned him a reputation as one of Sweden's rising goalkeeper talents. During his time with Östers IF, Shaban was given the chance to showcase his talent in Sweden's domestic competitions, both in the league and in cup tournaments. His agility and reflexes made him an important player for Östers IF, but it was his leadership qualities that truly set him apart from his peers. Shaban quickly became the team's first-choice goalkeeper, and his consistency between the posts earned him widespread praise in the Swedish footballing community. Although Östers IF was a relatively small club in comparison to the giants of Swedish football, Shaban's performances caught the attention of bigger clubs, and it wasn't long before he attracted interest from the more established teams in Sweden. This interest eventually led to his departure from Östers IF in 1997, marking the beginning of the next chapter in his career. Moved to Djurgårdens IF and continued success. In 1997, Rami Shaban made a high-profile move to Djurgårdens IF, one of Sweden's top football clubs based in Stockholm. The move represented a significant step in Shaban's career, as he was now competing at a higher level with one of the country's most successful teams. Djurgården was one of Sweden's most storied football clubs, and joining them gave Shaban the opportunity to play in Europe's prestigious competitions, as well as the chance to compete for domestic titles in the Allsvenskan. At Djurgården, Shaban quickly established himself as one of the top goalkeepers in Swedish football. His commanding presence, quick reflexes, and ability to organize his defense made him a key player for Djurgården. He played a vital role in the club's domestic success, including the team's victories in the Swedish Cup and Allsvenskan titles. Shaban's performances in Europe were also a highlight, as Djurgården competed in the UEFA Cup and other continental competitions, giving Shaban a platform to prove himself on the international stage. During his time with Djurgården, Shaban gained a reputation not only as a talented shot-stopper but also as a vocal leader on the pitch. His ability to communicate with his defenders and his bravery in one-on-one situations made him an indispensable part of the team. Shaban's presence in goal was a key factor in Djurgården's successes during this period, and his performances in domestic and European competitions further solidified his status as one of Sweden's top goalkeepers. Move to England. Arsenal and Premier League. Rami Shaban's impressive form at Djurgården earned him a move to one of the biggest football clubs in the world, Arsenal FC, in 2002. Shaban's move to the Premier League was a dream come true for the goalkeeper, who had long aspired to play in one of Europe's top leagues. At Arsenal, Shaban found himself surrounded by world-class players and under the management of the legendary Arsène Wenger. It was a significant step in his career, as he now had the chance to play for one of the most successful and well-known clubs in English football. Shaban's time at Arsenal was marked by limited opportunities on the pitch, as he found himself competing with established goalkeepers such as Jens Lehmann, who was Arsenal's first-choice goalkeeper during that period. Despite not being the regular starter, Shaban made a number of important appearances for the club, especially in cup competitions, showcasing his ability when called upon. His time at Arsenal gave him the invaluable experience of training alongside top-level professionals, including some of the greatest players in the world, such as Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira, and Dennis Bergkamp. Although Shaban was not able to secure a permanent starting role at Arsenal, his time at the club was a valuable learning experience. His brief stint in the Premier League allowed him to sharpen his skills, gain experience in one of the world's most competitive football leagues, and experience life at a top-tier club. Shaban's time at Arsenal would be short-lived, as he was loaned out to other clubs in search of more regular first-team football. Loan moves. Birmingham City and returned to Sweden. After his time at Arsenal, Rami Shaban was loaned out to several clubs in order to find more playing time. In 2004, he was sent on loan to Birmingham City in the English Premier League. Unfortunately, his time at Birmingham City was also brief, and he found himself sidelined for much of the season. Despite this, the experience provided Shaban with valuable exposure to English football and further cemented his reputation as a solid, reliable goalkeeper. In 2005, Shaban made the decision to return to Sweden, where he rejoined Östers IF. After years of playing abroad, returning to Sweden allowed Shaban to rediscover his form and enjoy more regular first-team football. His performances with Östers IF, once again, showed his high-level skills and leadership abilities. Shaban continued to play at a high standard, becoming a key figure in Swedish football once more. Final years and retirement. Rami Shaban's playing career continued for several years, although his time in the top-flight leagues became increasingly limited as injuries began to take their toll. After his time at Östers IF, Shaban had stints at several clubs, including IFK Östersund and several others in the Swedish lower leagues. His final years in football were spent mentoring younger goalkeepers, passing on his wealth of experience to the next generation. Shaban announced his retirement from professional football in 2012, marking the end of a long and successful career. He had made a name for himself as one of Sweden's most reliable and respected goalkeepers. Over the years, Shaban had played in several of the world's top leagues, representing Sweden at the highest levels, including the UEFA Champions League and Premier League. His career left a lasting legacy in Swedish football, and he remains a well-respected figure in the footballing community. Early life and background. Ian Cox was born on August 6, 1974, in Chiswick, London, England. Raised in the bustling capital, Cox was introduced to football at a young age, with the sport being an integral part of his childhood. From an early age, he showed considerable promise on the field, with his athleticism and natural ability catching the eye of local coaches and scouts. Growing up in a city with a rich footballing culture, Cox had access to numerous opportunities to develop his skills. Cox played youth football in the London area, beginning his career in the amateur ranks before moving on to more competitive levels. His physicality, solid defensive skills, and strong presence in the air were traits that made him a standout player. With a passion for the game and a growing desire to make football his profession, Cox set his sights on the next step in his journey, making it into the professional ranks. Early professional career. Millwall FC. In the early 1990s, Cox's dreams of playing professional football came true when he signed for Millwall FC, a club based in southeast London with a rich history in English football. At Millwall, Cox was given the opportunity to make a name for himself, having joined the club's youth academy. The path to first-team football was competitive, but Cox's determination and natural ability eventually earned him a spot in the senior squad. Cox made his professional debut for Millwall in the 1992-1993 season, making an immediate impact on the pitch. He played primarily as a central defender, and his tough, no-nonsense style of defending quickly made him a fan favorite. Over the next few years, Cox solidified his place in the Millwall starting lineup, establishing himself as one of the most dependable defenders in the team. While Millwall was not one of the Premier League powerhouses during Cox's time there, the club had a dedicated following and was known for its strong work ethic and fighting spirit. Cox's performances reflected these values, as he became known for his aerial dominance, tactical awareness, and ability to read the game. He formed a solid partnership at the back with his defensive colleagues, helping Millwall compete in the Football League. Rise to prominence, Bolton Wanderers. Cox's impressive performances at Millwall did not go unnoticed, and in 1997, he made a move to Bolton Wanderers, a club then playing in the First Division, the second tier of English football. His arrival at Bolton marked a significant step forward in his career, as the club was on the rise and had ambitions of reaching the Premier League. At Bolton, Cox would play an important role in a period of transition for the club, helping to establish them as a competitive force in English football. Under the management of Sam Allardyce, Bolton began to build a solid team that would challenge for promotion to the Premier League. Cox's presence in the defense was crucial in this period, as his experience and physicality helped to shore up the team's backline. His leadership qualities were also evident, as he was able to marshal the defense and provide guidance to younger players who were still learning the ropes of professional football. Bolton's promotion to the Premier League came in 2001, and Cox was a key figure in the club's successful campaign. Although the club was relegated back to the First Division the following season, Cox's performances had not gone unnoticed by Premier League clubs, and his value as a reliable defender continued to rise. His time at Bolton helped establish him as one of the top defenders outside of the Premier League, and it would be only a matter of time before he made the leap to the top flight of English football. Premier League experience. Bradford City. In 2002, Cox made a move to Bradford City, a club that was then competing in the Premier League. His move to Bradford represented a fresh challenge in his career, as he was now playing at the highest level of English football. Cox's debut season with Bradford saw the club face a difficult battle against relegation, but his solid performances in the heart of the defense provided the team with much-needed stability. Despite Bradford's relegation to the First Division in 2003, Cox continued to be an important figure at the club. His no-nonsense style of defending and his ability to read the game made him a vital part of Bradford's defense during their time in the second tier. He played a key role in the club's attempt to return to the Premier League, but after several seasons, the club's struggles in the league led to Cox eventually moving on. Throughout his time at Bradford, Cox's experience and leadership were vital. Although the team faced relegation, Cox remained one of the standout players in the defense. His ability to organize the backline and make crucial tackles in high-pressure situations allowed him to maintain his status as one of the most reliable defenders in the division. Return to the Championship. Cardiff City and career resurgence. After leaving Bradford City in 2004, Cox returned to the Championship, joining Cardiff City, a club looking to challenge for promotion back to the Premier League. Cardiff provided Cox with an opportunity to continue his career at a high level, and he played a key role in the team's defense during his time there. Cox's arrival at Cardiff came at a time when the club was rebuilding and looking to establish itself as a regular fixture in the Championship. As a seasoned professional with Premier League experience, Cox brought valuable leadership to the team. His tough, uncompromising style of defending helped shore up Cardiff's defense, and he formed solid partnerships with other defenders at the club. While Cox's time at Cardiff was marked by strong defensive performances, the club's efforts to secure promotion to the Premier League fell short during his time there. Despite this, Cox remained a key figure in the team's defensive setup, and his consistency was appreciated by both the fans and his teammates. Cardiff's failure to earn promotion did not diminish Cox's status as one of the best defenders in the Championship. Later years and final stages of career. As Cox's career progressed, he began to wind down his playing days, having achieved a great deal in the English footballing scene. In the mid-2000s, Cox moved to several other clubs, including a spell at lower league side Cheltenham Town. His performances at Cheltenham helped stabilize the club's defense and earned him a reputation as a reliable, experienced defender at the lower levels of English football. At Cheltenham, Cox's role shifted slightly as he took on more of a mentoring position, guiding younger players and passing on his wealth of experience to the next generation of defenders. His playing time became more sporadic, but he remained an important figure in the squad, providing leadership and tactical know. Finally, after a brief spell at Cheltenham Town, Ian Cox retired from professional football. He left behind a legacy of consistency, hard work, and leadership throughout his career. Although his playing days were coming to an end, Cox's contributions to the teams he represented were significant, and he left a lasting impact on the clubs he played for. Early life and background. Marvin Andrews was born on January 8, 1976, in the capital city of Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago. Growing up in a football-loving country, Andrews' passion for the sport was sparked at a very young age. In a country where football is seen as more than just a game but a way of life, Marvin was exposed to the sport's vibrant culture early on. His family, though not wealthy, supported his aspirations, and the streets of Port of Spain became his first football pitch. From the moment he first kicked a ball, it was clear that Andrews had a natural talent for football. He was quick on his feet, strong in the tackle, and had a keen understanding of the game. As a young boy, he would often play with older kids in his neighborhood, trying to prove himself against players who were bigger and more experienced. It was here, in these informal games, that he developed many of the qualities that would later make him successful: resilience, tenacity, and the ability to read the game. Andrews' parents recognized his talent early on and encouraged him to pursue football. They enrolled him in youth clubs where he could receive formal coaching and further hone his skills. His hard work, determination, and natural ability soon led him to join some of the top youth football programs in Trinidad and Tobago, where he began to make a name for himself. His tenacity on the pitch, combined with his leadership skills, saw him rise through the ranks of local football. Early professional career, Trinidad and Tobago. Andrews' first foray into professional football came when he joined the local club Joe Public FC in the late 1990s. Joe Public was one of the top clubs in the TT Pro League, and it was here that Andrews began to make a real impact. He quickly became known for his powerful presence in defense and his ability to contribute offensively as well. His athleticism and leadership qualities stood out, making him a vital member of the team. At Joe Public, Andrews developed his skills further and became a cornerstone of the team's defense. His strong tackling and aerial ability made him a formidable center back, while his ability to read the game allowed him to shut down opposition attacks before they could become dangerous. It wasn't long before his impressive performances earned him a call-up to the Trinidad and Tobago national team, marking the beginning of a successful international career. Despite his success with Joe Public, Andrews was always looking to expand his horizons. The passion for playing abroad was strong within him, and he eventually caught the attention of scouts from international clubs. His performances for Trinidad and Tobago during the early 2000s only strengthened his reputation as one of the most talented defenders in the Caribbean. Move to Scotland. Livingston FC. In 2002, Marvin Andrews made the move to Europe, joining Livingston FC in the Scottish Premier League. This move was a turning point in Andrews' career, as he transitioned to playing in one of the most competitive leagues in Europe. At Livingston, he quickly adapted to the physical style of play and began to showcase his abilities on a much larger stage. His reputation as a strong, reliable centre-back only grew stronger during his time in Scotland. At Livingston, Andrews was known for his rugged style of defending. He was not afraid to get stuck in and put his body on the line for his team. His presence in the air was unmatched, and his leadership qualities were crucial for Livingston, who were then a mid-table team in the Scottish Premier League. Andrews was a stalwart in defense and played a crucial role in the team's successes during his time at the club. His strength, combined with his ability to read the game, made him one of the standout players in the Scottish League. Despite Livingston's challenges as a club, Andrews consistently put in excellent performances, and his reputation as one of the toughest defenders in Scottish football grew. His time at Livingston would become a pivotal chapter in his career, as it marked his first significant experience in European football and raised his profile among top-flight clubs across the continent. Glasgow Rangers and international glory. In 2004, after 2 successful seasons with Livingston, Andrews made the move to one of Scotland's most famous clubs, Glasgow Rangers. This was a significant step in his career, as Rangers were a top club in both Scotland and Europe. And the move gave Andrews the opportunity to play in the prestigious UEFA Champions League and compete for domestic trophies on a much larger stage. At Rangers, Andrews became a key figure in the defense, helping to strengthen the club's back line. His powerful presence, aerial ability, and leadership skills quickly endeared him to the fans, and he became an important member of the team. His performances were integral to Rangers' success during his time at the club, and he helped them win several domestic trophies, including the Scottish Premier League and the Scottish League Cup. One of the highlights of his time at Rangers came during the 2007-2008 UEFA Cup campaign, where Rangers reached the final. While they were ultimately defeated by Zenit St. Petersburg, Andrews' contributions to the team were vital, and he earned respect for his performances in Europe. The chance to compete in one of the most prestigious tournaments in club football was a dream come true for Andrews, and it solidified his place as one of the top defenders in Europe. During his time at Rangers, Andrews also continued to be a mainstay in the Trinidad and Tobago national team. He played a significant role in the country's historic qualification for the 2006 FIFA World Cup in Germany. This achievement marked a milestone in Trinidad and Tobago's football history, as the nation made its first ever appearance in the World Cup. Andrews was one of the key players for the Soca Warriors, and his performances on the international stage earned him widespread recognition. Despite his success at Rangers, Andrews was known for his humility and dedication to his roots in Trinidad and Tobago. He remained a passionate advocate for the development of football in his home country and often returned to Trinidad to give back to the community. Later career, Norwich City, and returned to Trinidad and Tobago. In 2009, after leaving Rangers, Andrews moved to England, where he signed with Norwich City. His time at Norwich was marked by several successful seasons, and he became a valuable member of the team, contributing to their promotion to the Premier League. Although he was no longer playing at the top levels of European football, Andrews continued to showcase his abilities and leadership skills in England, helping Norwich compete in the highly competitive English Championship. After his stint in England, Andrews decided to return home to Trinidad and Tobago. He rejoined local clubs and continued to play at a competitive level, while also transitioning into coaching roles. His leadership and football intelligence made him a valuable asset to the younger generation of players, and he worked diligently to mentor aspiring footballers in his homeland. Post-retirement and legacy. Following his retirement from professional football, Marvin Andrews has remained involved in the sport, dedicating much of his time to coaching and mentoring young players in Trinidad and Tobago. His focus on developing local talent has made a lasting impact on football in his home country. Andrews has worked with various youth academies, offering his expertise and helping to guide the next generation of players. Outside of football, Andrews has also become an influential figure in his community, using his platform to give back through charity work and social initiatives. His commitment to making a positive impact in the lives of young people has further cemented his legacy as not just a great footballer, but as a role model and mentor to many. Conclusion. Marvin Andrews' career is a testament to his perseverance, skill, and leadership both on and off the pitch. From his early days in Trinidad and Tobago to his time at some of Europe's top football clubs, Andrews has been a pillar of strength for both club and country. His time at Livingston, Rangers, and Norwich City, coupled with his contributions to Trinidad and Tobago's historic World Cup qualification, has solidified his place as one of the greatest footballers to come from the Caribbean. Even after retirement, Andrews continues to contribute to the sport, helping to shape the future of football in Trinidad and Tobago. His legacy is one of dedication, passion, and a deep love for the game, and he will forever be remembered as one of the standout figures in Caribbean football. Early life and football beginnings. Marcus Albeck was born on October 15, 1972, in the small town of Västerhaninge, Sweden. Growing up in a family with a deep appreciation for sports, Albeck was introduced to football at an early age. His passion for the sport was ignited by watching games on television and playing with his friends. Despite the rural setting of Västerhaninge, a place not known for producing footballing stars, Albeck's early interest in the game stood out, and it quickly became apparent that he had the potential to pursue a career in football. His football journey began with his local club, Västerhaninge IF, where he played in his formative years. Though a relatively modest club, it gave him the opportunity to develop his skills, particularly his goal-scoring instinct and aerial ability. Albeck's athleticism and natural talent for finding the back of the net led to a series of strong performances in local youth leagues. His ability to perform under pressure, particularly in front of goal, caught the attention of larger clubs, setting him on a path to a professional career. At the age of 16, Albeck moved to Stockholm to join the youth setup at Hammarby IF, one of Sweden's more prominent clubs at the time. This was a significant step in his development, as Hammarby offered him a more competitive environment and the opportunity to progress through the ranks quickly. His work ethic, combined with his impressive technical ability, allowed him to rise through the club's youth system. By 1991, just a year after joining Hammarby, Albeck was promoted to the senior team. Professional career at Hammarby. If Albeck's breakthrough in Swedish football came with Hammarby IF, where he made his debut in the Swedish Allsvenskan at the age of 19. The club was going through a period of transition, but Albeck's arrival gave them hope for a brighter future. He was known for his tireless work ethic, his ability to finish chances with both feet, and his physical presence in the air, particularly on set pieces. These qualities helped him stand out, and it wasn't long before he was a regular in the starting lineup. During his time at Hammarby, Albeck began to establish himself as one of the brightest young talents in Swedish football. His combination of size, strength, and skill made him a handful for defenders. Over the next few years, he became Hammarby's main goal-scoring threat. His performances were characterized by clinical finishing, an ability to read the game, and an impressive knack for being in the right place at the right time. These qualities would be a hallmark of his playing style throughout his career. Despite his individual success, Hammarby struggled to win major trophies during his time at the club. Nevertheless, Albeck's impressive goal-scoring feats earned him recognition both domestically and internationally. By 1996, his talents were becoming more widely recognized across Europe, and it became clear that he would eventually make a move to one of Europe's more prominent leagues. Move to Denmark and Danish success. In 1996, Albeck made the move to Denmark, where he joined the Danish Superliga side IKAST. His decision to move abroad was driven by a desire to challenge himself in a new environment and to compete at a higher level. At IKAST, Albeck quickly adapted to Danish football, and his goal-scoring prowess continued to shine through. His physicality and technical ability allowed him to thrive in the competitive Superliga. And he was soon one of the league's top strikers. His time in Denmark was marked by a series of standout performances that solidified his reputation as a top-tier striker in Scandinavia. At IKAST, Albeck's goal-scoring record was impressive, and his playstyle was well suited to the team's attacking setup. Over the course of 4 seasons at IKAST, Albeck helped lead the team to competitive finishes in the league and even enjoyed runs in European competitions, including the UEFA Cup. While he was successful at IKAST, it was clear that Albeck's talents could carry him to even greater heights. His performances in Denmark attracted the attention of bigger clubs, and in 2000, he made the move to one of the top clubs in Europe, Belgium's Anderlecht, for a brief but impactful spell in his career. Successful years at Anderlecht. In 2000, Albeck moved to Belgium's RSC Anderlecht, a club that was one of the strongest in Belgium and a regular contender in European competitions. At Anderlecht, Albeck was able to further showcase his talents on a bigger stage. He continued to thrive in the Belgian Pro League, where his goal-scoring instincts, strong aerial ability, and poise in the box made him one of the league's top strikers. His time at Anderlecht was successful, and he played an important role in helping the club challenge for domestic titles and progress in European tournaments. Albeck's versatility allowed him to play both as a traditional striker and in a supporting role, and his performances in the league and Europe were key to Anderlecht's success during this period. During his time with Anderlecht, Albeck was able to adapt to the higher tempo of top-tier European football. The club's participation in the UEFA Champions League allowed him to compete against some of the best teams in Europe, which was an invaluable experience for his development. His performances in Europe, coupled with his domestic achievements, attracted further attention from bigger leagues, and it became clear that Albeck's next move would be to one of Europe's major footballing nations. Return to Sweden and success at IFK Göteborg. In 2003, after several successful years abroad, Albeck returned to Sweden, joining IFK Göteborg. His return to his homeland marked a new chapter in his career. At IFK Göteborg, Albeck became a key player for the club, leading the team's attack and contributing to both their domestic and international successes. His physicality, leadership, and tactical intelligence made him a formidable presence on the pitch. Albeck's performances at IFK Göteborg were marked by his consistent goal-scoring ability, but he also demonstrated a keen understanding of the game. He was instrumental in leading IFK Göteborg to top finishes in the Allsvenskan, Sweden's premier football league. His ability to hold up the ball, bring teammates into play, and his clinical finishing made him one of the top forwards in Sweden during his time at the club. His time in Göteborg was also a successful one in terms of European competition. Albeck's experience in European football, which he had gained at Anderlecht, proved to be invaluable as he helped IFK Göteborg navigate European competitions with strong performances. Though the club never reached the highest echelons of European football during his tenure, Albeck's contributions were a vital part of the team's competitiveness in both Sweden and Europe. International career with Sweden. Albeck's performances at club level earned him a spot in the Swedish national team, and he made his debut for the senior side in 1997. Over the course of his international career, Albeck earned over 70 caps for Sweden and scored a significant number of goals, becoming an important figure in the Swedish national team. His goal-scoring exploits at club level translated well to the international stage, and he became a reliable option for the national team's attack. Albeck was part of the Swedish squad for several major international tournaments, including the 2002 and 2006 FIFA World Cups, as well as the UEFA European Championship in 2004 and 2008. In these tournaments, he provided much-needed experience and leadership, and though he was never a central figure in Sweden's attacking play, he played an important role in supporting the team's more high-profile players, such as Zlatan Ibrahimovic. One of the most memorable moments of Albeck's international career came during Sweden's run to the quarterfinals of the 2004 UEFA European Championship. Albeck was one of Sweden's key players, contributing both goals and assists during the tournament, and his performances were a reminder of his class at the international level. Early life and background. Brent Sancho was born on May 4, 1981, in the vibrant capital city of Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago. Growing up in a country where football is deeply embedded in the culture, Sancho developed a love for the sport from a young age. His family, though not wealthy, supported his passion for football, and he began playing the sport on the streets with friends and neighborhood kids. It was on these informal pitches where his natural talent for the game began to emerge. His commitment, technical ability, and passion for football made him stand out, even at a young age. Sancho's early exposure to the game was through school competitions and local youth leagues, where he quickly made a name for himself. He was known for his composure on the ball, his tactical awareness, and his leadership qualities on the field. Growing up in a country that was developing a strong footballing culture, it was clear that Sancho had the potential to make a career out of the sport, and his parents made sure to nurture his talent by enrolling him in more formalized football programs. He joined the youth teams of various local clubs in Port of Spain, gaining invaluable experience. By his teenage years, Sancho was already being recognized as one of the top young football talents in Trinidad and Tobago. His performances in youth competitions and his consistent ability to outperform his peers made him a sought-after player in his home country. It was evident to those around him that a future in professional football was not only possible but likely. Early professional career. Trinidad and Tobago. Sancho's professional career began in the domestic league, where he made a significant impact at a very young age. He joined the local football club W Connection FC, one of the most prominent teams in the TT Pro League, in the early 2000s. At W Connection, Sancho honed his skills and developed into a highly regarded central defender. His combination of strength, technical skill, and excellent positioning made him a formidable presence at the back. He quickly became a key player for the club and helped solidify its position as one of the best teams in Trinidad and Tobago. His performances at the domestic level were enough to earn him a spot in the Trinidad and Tobago national team. Sancho made his international debut in 2002, and from that point on, he would become a mainstay in the national squad for years to come. His technical ability, coupled with his leadership and understanding of the game, made him a reliable figure in the heart of Trinidad and Tobago's defense. Sancho's rise to prominence in the TT Pro League was also a reflection of his disciplined approach to the game. He was known for his commitment to fitness and his focus on continuous improvement, both of which played a pivotal role in his eventual success at the international level. As he continued to impress in the TT Pro League and for the national team, it was clear that a move to Europe was in his future. Move to Europe. A new challenge in Scotland. In 2004, after several successful seasons with W Connection, Brent Sancho made the decision to move abroad, seeking new challenges in Europe. He signed with Scottish Premier League side Dundee United, making his mark on the Scottish football scene. The move was a significant step in Sancho's career, as it allowed him to experience a higher level of competition in one of Europe's most physically demanding leagues. At Dundee United, Sancho faced a steep learning curve as he adapted to the faster pace and more aggressive style of football in Scotland. However, he proved to be a quick learner, and his attributes as a strong, tactical defender were quickly recognized by his teammates, coaches, and fans. His versatility allowed him to play both as a central defender and as a fullback, offering his coach tactical flexibility. His ability to read the game and make crucial interceptions was key to his success at Dundee United. During his time in Scotland, Sancho continued to make an impact on the international stage, regularly representing Trinidad and Tobago in CONCACAF tournaments and World Cup qualifiers. His international exposure increased, and he became known as one of the standout defenders from the Caribbean region. Sancho's presence in the Scottish Premier League also earned him recognition from other clubs across Europe, further enhancing his reputation as a strong, reliable defender. International success with Trinidad and Tobago. One of the defining moments of Brent Sancho's career came in 2006 when he was part of the Trinidad and Tobago national team that made history by qualifying for the 2006 FIFA World Cup in Germany. This achievement marked the first time that Trinidad and Tobago had qualified for a World Cup, and it was a monumental moment in the country's football history. Sancho, as a key member of the team, played an instrumental role in helping the Soca Warriors secure their place in the global tournament. During the 2006 World Cup, Sancho was one of the defensive leaders for Trinidad and Tobago. Though the team was placed in a difficult group, alongside England, Sweden, and Paraguay, they held their own, earning a 0-0 draw with Sweden in their opening match. Sancho's performances throughout the tournament, including his vital defensive contributions, were highly praised. His leadership and experience were crucial in ensuring that Trinidad and Tobago remained competitive on the world stage, despite being one of the smallest nations in the tournament. Although Trinidad and Tobago did not advance past the group stages, their historic qualification for the World Cup was a significant achievement for the nation. Sancho's role in this achievement cemented his place as one of the greatest players in the history of Trinidad and Tobago's national team. Returned to Trinidad and Tobago and continued domestic success. Following the World Cup, Sancho's club career took a few turns. He returned to Trinidad and Tobago, where he spent some time playing for a few local clubs. His experience playing in Scotland and at the World Cup made him one of the most sought-after players in his home country, and he continued to play an important role for both club and country. Sancho also played a role in developing the next generation of footballers in Trinidad and Tobago. He took on coaching and mentoring roles, helping to guide young players through their own development. His experience playing at the highest levels in Europe and representing his country on the world stage made him a valuable resource for aspiring players. During this time, Sancho continued to appear for the national team in qualifying matches for the 2010 FIFA World Cup and various regional competitions. Although his international appearances became more sporadic, he remained a respected figure in Trinidad and Tobago football. His leadership, both on and off the pitch, made him an invaluable asset to the national team, post-retirement life and legacy. After retiring from professional football in the early 2010s, Brent Sancho shifted his focus to football development and grassroots work in Trinidad and Tobago. He became involved in coaching and football administration, using his expertise and experience to improve the sport in his home country. His work with youth teams and academies helped to foster new generations of talented players, many of whom looked up to Sancho as a role model. Sancho's contributions to the sport were not limited to coaching. He also became a prominent advocate for the development of football infrastructure in Trinidad and Tobago. He worked with various organizations to improve training facilities and youth development programs, hoping to lay the foundation for future success in international football. Sancho's legacy as a footballer is defined not only by his performances for Trinidad and Tobago and his contributions to the 2006 World Cup team but also by his leadership, work ethic, and dedication to the growth of the sport in his homeland. He is widely regarded as one of the most important figures in the history of Trinidad and Tobago football. Conclusion. Brent Sancho's football career stands as a testament to his skill, determination, and leadership both on and off the pitch. From his early days in Port of Spain to his success in the Scottish Premier League and his role in Trinidad and Tobago's historic World Cup qualification, Sancho's contributions to the sport have had a lasting impact. His legacy continues to inspire young players in Trinidad and Tobago, and his work in football development ensures that his influence will be felt for many years to come. Early life and background. Shaka Hislop was born on February 22, 1969, in London, England, to Trinidadian parents. His upbringing in a family with roots in the Caribbean would play a significant role in shaping his football career. Although born in London, Hislop's family moved back to Trinidad and Tobago when he was just an infant, where he would eventually develop a passion for football. Growing up in the Twin Island Republic, Hislop was introduced to the sport early on, and it became an integral part of his life. Trinidad and Tobago had a strong footballing tradition, and Hislop was quick to embrace it. He played football throughout his school years and quickly showed signs of his potential. Hislop's athleticism, natural instincts, and strong physical presence as a goalkeeper made him stand out in local competitions. His talent was evident, and it wasn't long before he attracted the attention of local coaches, setting the stage for a promising football career. Education and college football in the United States. In the early 1980s, Hislop's footballing journey took him to the United States. He moved to the U.S. to pursue higher education and continue developing his football career. Hislop enrolled at Howard University in Washington, D.C., a school known for its strong football program. At Howard, Hislop played for the university's football team, the Howard Bison, which provided him with an excellent platform to showcase his goalkeeping abilities. His time at Howard University allowed Hislop to hone his skills in a competitive collegiate environment. The coaching staff recognized his potential, and he developed into one of the most promising goalkeepers in the United States college football scene. Hislop's performances for Howard helped him stand out in the National Collegiate Athletic Association, NCAA, and he soon gained attention from professional clubs in both the U.S. and internationally. His success at college football was not only a stepping stone to a professional career but also helped him gain valuable experience that would be crucial in the next stages of his journey. Professional career beginnings, United States and England. After graduating from Howard University in 1992, Shaka Hislop began his professional career in the United States, where he initially played for the Maryland Bays in the American professional soccer circuit. His time with the Bays allowed Hislop to gain experience in competitive football, but it was his eventual move to England that would define his career. In 1992, Hislop moved to England to sign with Reading FC, a club playing in the Football League. The move marked a significant step forward in Hislop's career, as he now had the opportunity to play at a higher level in one of the most competitive footballing nations in the world. At Reading, Hislop faced the challenge of adapting to English football, a vastly different style of play compared to what he had experienced in the U.S. His athleticism, positioning, and communication skills as a goalkeeper quickly caught the attention of fans and coaches alike, and he became a first-choice player for the club. Hislop's rise through the ranks at Reading proved to be just the beginning of his success in English football. His outstanding performances with Reading led to recognition beyond the club, and his reputation as a talented and reliable goalkeeper began to spread throughout the footballing world. Premier League success, Newcastle United. In 1995, Hislop's career took another leap forward when he signed with Newcastle United in the English Premier League. The move to the Premier League was a significant milestone for Hislop, as he was now competing at the highest level of football in England. At Newcastle, Hislop faced stiff competition, but he quickly established himself as the club's first-choice goalkeeper. His time at Newcastle was marked by solid and consistent performances, where he became a fan favorite for his shot-stopping ability, strong aerial presence, and leadership on the field. Hislop played a vital role in Newcastle's defensive setup during his time at the club, and his ability to make crucial saves in high-pressure situations made him an invaluable asset to the team. Hislop's performances in the Premier League earned him widespread recognition, and he became known as one of the top goalkeepers in England during the late 1990s. One of the highlights of Hislop's time at Newcastle was the club's successful 1998-99 Premier League season, in which they finished in a solid mid-table position. Hislop's ability to perform consistently in one of the world's most demanding leagues helped Newcastle maintain a competitive edge, and he played a crucial role in some of the club's memorable victories. West Ham United and international recognition. After several successful seasons with Newcastle United, Hislop made the move to West Ham United in 1997, where he would further cement his legacy as one of the most dependable goalkeepers in English football. At West Ham, Hislop enjoyed another fruitful period in his career. His performances at the club were marked by his strong reflexes, excellent shot-stopping, and leadership at the back. During his time at West Ham, he established himself as a key player, and the club relied on his experience and consistency in the Premier League. Hislop's time at West Ham coincided with a period of growth for the club, as they sought to establish themselves as a competitive force in English football. Hislop played a vital role in this, ensuring that West Ham's defense remained solid despite the pressure of playing in one of the most competitive leagues in the world. He made memorable saves and played an instrumental part in some of the club's most important victories. His time at West Ham was also marked by his ability to make key saves during cup competitions, helping the team achieve success in domestic tournaments. It was also during this period that Hislop's reputation as a top-class goalkeeper gained international recognition. His solid performances in the Premier League earned him a call-up to the Trinidad and Tobago national team, and he became the undisputed #1 goalkeeper for his country. Hislop's performances in international tournaments, including World Cup qualifiers, were crucial in helping Trinidad and Tobago secure their place on the world stage. International career, Trinidad and Tobago. Hislop's contributions to the Trinidad and Tobago national team were nothing short of historic. After making his debut for the national team in 1993, he went on to become one of the most capped players in the history of Trinidad and Tobago football. As the team's first-choice goalkeeper, Hislop played a pivotal role in the country's campaign to qualify for the 2006 FIFA World Cup. This achievement was a monumental moment for Trinidad and Tobago football, as the nation had never before qualified for the World Cup. Hislop's experience, leadership, and world-class goalkeeping were instrumental in helping Trinidad and Tobago qualify for the 2006 World Cup in Germany. His performances in the final round of qualifying were key to the team's success, and he played a vital role in securing important points in matches against regional rivals. Hislop's presence in goal gave Trinidad and Tobago a much-needed sense of stability and security, and he was a leader on and off the field. At the 2006 World Cup, Hislop made history as he represented Trinidad and Tobago in one of the biggest tournaments in world football. Although his team did not progress past the group stage, Hislop's performances at the tournament were commendable, and his efforts were praised by fans and pundits alike. The World Cup represented the pinnacle of Hislop's international career, and it solidified his place in Trinidad and Tobago footballing history. Early life and background. Avery John was born on December 14, 1978, in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago. Raised in the heart of the Caribbean's football culture, Avery's introduction to the sport came early in life. His father, a passionate football fan, instilled in him a deep love for the game. And by the time he was a young boy, Avery was already kicking a football around the local streets and parks. Growing up in Trinidad and Tobago, a country with a rich footballing tradition, he had access to a vibrant football scene and the opportunity to learn from a variety of skilled players and coaches. From a young age, it was clear that Avery had the potential to be a standout player. He joined several local youth teams, quickly rising through the ranks due to his natural athleticism, dedication, and passion for the sport. His ability to excel as both a defender and a midfielder helped him gain attention from scouts and coaches, and it wasn't long before his talents were recognized by some of the island's top football clubs. Avery's talent was not just technical, but also mental. His awareness on the field and ability to read the game made him stand out. By the time he was in his teens, he was already playing at a high level and showing promise as a future national team player. His early exposure to football gave him the perfect foundation to embark on his professional journey, with his sights firmly set on playing abroad and representing his country on the international stage. Early professional career, Defence Force, FC Avery. John began his professional career with the Trinidadian club Defence Force FC, which is based in the capital, Port of Spain. Playing for the club's senior team, he quickly adapted to the high level of competition in the TT Pro League, where he showcased his versatility in defense and midfield. John's impressive performances on the pitch helped him earn a reputation as a robust and reliable player who could be counted on to maintain discipline in both defensive and offensive situations. At Defence Force, Avery honed his skills, becoming a more well-rounded player as he regularly faced strong opponents in both domestic and regional competitions. His hard work, paired with his excellent understanding of the game, led to numerous standout performances that cemented his place as a key figure in the team. His time at Defence Force was foundational in shaping his career, allowing him to develop his defensive skills, leadership qualities, and ability to dictate the tempo of the game. While playing in Trinidad, John continued to work on his physicality and tactical understanding of football, which would later serve him well in his international and club career. It was at Defence Force that he caught the attention of coaches from the national team, marking the beginning of his long-standing involvement with the Trinidad and Tobago national squad. Move to overseas football. The United States. In the early 2000s, Avery John's potential was recognized by scouts from abroad. And in 2003, he made the significant move to play professionally in the United States. He joined the Charleston Battery, a club competing in the USL First Division, which was one of the second-tier leagues in the U.S. football pyramid. Moving abroad was a pivotal moment in John's career, offering him the chance to compete at a higher level and gain valuable international experience. At Charleston, John flourished in his role as a central defender and defensive midfielder, demonstrating his maturity on the ball and his ability to provide solid leadership at the back. His time in the U.S. was marked by consistent performances that showcased his adaptability and composure in tight situations. His physical presence in defense made him a formidable player to go up against, while his ability to contribute to the team's offensive plays with long passes or the occasional foray forward added another dimension to his game. John's impact at Charleston Battery was undeniable, and his performances helped the team achieve a number of successes in the USL competitions. However, it was his contributions to Trinidad and Tobago's national team that truly helped elevate his status on the international stage. International recognition. Trinidad and Tobago. National team. Avery John's talents had been noticed long before his move abroad, and he was called up to the Trinidad and Tobago national team at an early age. He made his senior debut for the Soca Warriors in 1998, and from then on, he became a regular member of the national squad. His versatility, combined with his leadership on the field, made him an important figure in the team's defense and midfield. John's international career reached its peak during the early 2000s when he played a pivotal role in helping Trinidad and Tobago qualify for the 2006 FIFA World Cup in Germany. This was the nation's first-ever World Cup appearance, and John's contributions were integral to the team's success during the qualifying campaign. His defensive stability, combined with his ability to support the attack when necessary, made him a crucial part of the Soca Warriors World Cup squad. The 2006 World Cup was a historic moment for Trinidad and Tobago, and John's performances on the world stage only solidified his place as one of the nation's top footballers. Although Trinidad and Tobago were eliminated in the group stage, the team earned a well-deserved draw against Sweden, which marked one of the highlights of their campaign. John's experience and leadership throughout the tournament were vital, and his international career continued to be a source of pride for both him and his nation. Return to Trinidad. W connection and continued success. After his stint in the U.S., Avery John returned to Trinidad and Tobago in the mid-2000s to join W Connection FC, one of the most successful football clubs in the TT Pro League. His return to local football was welcomed by fans who admired his years of dedication to the sport both at home and abroad. At W Connection, John continued to showcase his ability to anchor the defense, organizing the backline and keeping opposition attacks at bay. His leadership qualities were further recognized at W Connection, and he became a key figure in the squad, helping guide the team to domestic successes. Throughout his time with the club, John earned several individual accolades and helped W Connection secure numerous league titles and cup trophies. His ability to read the game, paired with his technical skills and defensive discipline, made him one of the standout performers in the TT Pro League. John's experience and leadership at W Connection also helped raise the profile of Trinidadian football on the international stage, as the club regularly competed in regional tournaments such as the CONCACAF Champions League. John's time at the club solidified his place as a respected figure in the national football scene and helped maintain the legacy of Trinidad and Tobago football. Later career and coaching. As John entered the later stages of his playing career, he took on more of a mentorship role, guiding younger players and helping to nurture the next generation of talent in Trinidad and Tobago. His experience and tactical knowledge made him an ideal candidate to impart wisdom to the younger players coming through the ranks. In addition to his playing career, John also began to take an interest in coaching, transitioning into roles that would allow him to stay involved in the sport even after hanging up his boots. He became a respected coach, working with various youth teams and sharing his knowledge of the game with aspiring footballers. Through his coaching, John was able to continue contributing to Trinidad and Tobago's football development, ensuring that his legacy lived on beyond his playing days. Early life and football beginnings. Marcus Rosenberg was born on September 27, 1982, in the southern Swedish city of Malmö. Raised in a sporting family, Rosenberg's early exposure to football came naturally, with his father, a former professional player, encouraging his son to take up the sport. From a young age, Rosenberg showed great promise, inheriting his father's passion for football and his natural athleticism. Growing up in Malmö, one of Sweden's most football-crazed cities, Rosenberg was inspired by the local team, Malmö FF, and the successes of Swedish football in general. He began his football journey at the age of 6, joining the youth ranks of local club, Husi IF, before moving to the youth academy of Malmö FF, one of Sweden's most prestigious clubs. Rosenberg's progression through Malmö's youth system was swift, and his skills quickly became evident. His keen footballing intelligence, technical ability, and goal-scoring instincts set him apart from his peers. In particular, his ability to find space and finish chances made him a dangerous forward. At the age of 16, Rosenberg joined Malmö FF's senior team, making his first team debut in 1999. This early introduction to senior football was a formative experience, helping Rosenberg develop a more mature and well-rounded approach to the game. His time at Malmö allowed him to hone his skills in the Allsvenskan, Sweden's top-tier league, and gain invaluable experience in competitive football. Breakthrough at Malmö FF. Rosenberg's breakthrough came during the 2001 Allsvenskan season, when he began to make a name for himself as a prolific goal scorer. His combination of technical prowess, speed, and finishing ability made him one of the most exciting young forwards in Sweden. His performances caught the eye of both Swedish football fans and scouts from abroad. During his time with Malmö, Rosenberg consistently impressed, with his ability to both score and create goals for his teammates. In the 2002 season, Rosenberg became one of the most important players in Malmö's attacking lineup. His impressive goal-scoring record and all-around performances helped his team challenge for domestic titles and solidified his reputation as a top talent in Swedish football. By the age of 20, Rosenberg had already made a significant mark in the Swedish league, and his talents were beginning to attract international interest. His rise through the ranks of Swedish football reached a major milestone when he was called up to the national team. His inclusion in the Swedish squad for the 2002 FIFA World Cup was a testament to his growing reputation and promise. Although Rosenberg did not feature heavily in the tournament, his selection signaled his arrival on the international stage. Move to the Netherlands, Ajax Amsterdam. In 2004, Rosenberg made the leap to one of Europe's top leagues, signing with Ajax Amsterdam in the Eredivisie, the Netherlands' top football division. Ajax, known for its tradition of developing young talent, was an ideal destination for Rosenberg to continue his development and test himself at a higher level of competition. The move also allowed Rosenberg to play in European competitions, further enhancing his growth as a player. At Ajax, Rosenberg faced stiff competition for a starting spot, but his qualities as a forward were clear. He brought energy, flair, and creativity to the attack. And his work ethic and determination allowed him to quickly adapt to the demands of Dutch football. Over his 2 years in Amsterdam, Rosenberg demonstrated his ability to score goals both in the Eredivisie and in European competitions, including the UEFA Champions League. His performances in the Ajax shirt earned him admiration from fans and pundits alike, and he became known for his versatility in attack, able to play as a central striker or on the wing. Although his time at Ajax was not as transformative as it could have been due to the fierce competition in the team, Rosenberg's reputation continued to grow. His ability to link up play and his intelligence in the final third were key features of his game, and his short stint in Amsterdam furthered his ambitions to compete at the highest levels of European football. Return to Sweden. The Malmö FF comeback. After his time at Ajax, Rosenberg moved back to Sweden in 2007, signing with Malmö FF once again. The return to Malmö was a significant chapter in Rosenberg's career, as he was now one of the most high-profile players in Sweden. His return coincided with a new era for Malmö FF, one in which the club aimed to restore its dominance in Swedish football and compete more regularly in European competitions. Rosenberg's second spell at Malmö was highly successful. He was the focal point of the club's attack, and his leadership qualities shone through as he guided the team to domestic success. His ability to score goals, both in Sweden and in European competitions, helped Malmö achieve domestic league titles and qualify for the UEFA Champions League. Rosenberg's leadership and experience were invaluable to the club, and he became a symbol of Malmö's ambition to compete at the highest level. His contribution to Malmö's success was not only in terms of goals but also in his playmaking abilities. Rosenberg's ability to drop deep and link up with his teammates added a dimension to the team's attacking play, and he became one of the most complete forwards in the Allsvenskan. His performances in both domestic and international competitions earned him recognition as one of Sweden's top players. International career. Sweden national team. Rosenberg's performances at club level earned him a consistent spot in the Swedish national team, and he was a regular feature for his country in major international tournaments. His international debut came in 2005, and he would go on to represent Sweden in several European Championships and World Cups. Although Sweden was always a team on the fringes of the top footballing nations, Rosenberg's role as a striker was pivotal to the team's success. One of his most memorable contributions to the national team came during the 2008 UEFA European Championship, where he scored key goals and provided assists to help Sweden advance to the knockout stages. His performances in the tournament solidified his place in Swedish football history and demonstrated his ability to perform on the big stage. Although Sweden was eliminated from the competition in the group stages, Rosenberg's individual performances left a lasting impression. Rosenberg was also part of Sweden's squad for the 2010 FIFA World Cup qualification campaign, where his experience and goal-scoring ability were vital. Despite not always being the team's focal point in terms of scoring, Rosenberg's all-around contribution to the team was important for Sweden's tactical balance. Throughout his international career, Rosenberg remained a highly respected figure in Swedish football. His leadership on and off the field was crucial, and he was one of the key players during Sweden's successful campaigns in European and World Cup qualifiers. He played his final international match in 2015, marking the end of an era for one of Sweden's most consistent forwards. Final years and retirement. In the latter stages of his career, Rosenberg continued to play for Malmö FF, where he remained a central figure in the team's attack. His experience, leadership, and ability to perform at a high level continued to be valuable assets for the team. During this period, he played an essential role in Malmö's continued dominance of Swedish football, helping them to win domestic league titles and represent Sweden in the Champions League. Rosenberg's final years in football were also marked by his longevity in the game. He remained one of the most respected and well-liked figures in Swedish football, known for his professionalism and dedication to his craft. He played his final competitive match for Malmö FF in 2019, bringing an end to a career that spanned over 2 decades. Early life and football beginnings. Christian Wilhelmsson was born on August 8, 1980, in the Swedish city of Västerås, a vibrant location in the central part of the country. Growing up in a working-class family, Wilhelmsson developed a passion for football early on, influenced by the sport's popularity and his love for the game. His athletic abilities were evident from a young age, and football quickly became his primary focus. Like many young talents in Sweden, he spent his childhood playing street football with friends and dreaming of a professional career. His youth development began at his local club, Västerås SK, where he started to refine his technical skills. While the club was not among the country's top-tier teams, Wilhelmsson's performances stood out. His impressive speed, agility, and flair on the ball were clear signs of his potential. His rapid progression through the ranks caught the eye of bigger clubs, and by the time he was in his teens, it was evident that Wilhelmsson was destined for a career in professional football. In 1996, Wilhelmsson joined the youth system of one of Sweden's more prominent clubs, Örebro SK, where he continued to develop his technical skills and football intelligence. His move to Örebro SK was a pivotal moment in his development, as it allowed him to gain exposure to more competitive football and sharpen his ability to read the game. It didn't take long for him to earn a spot in the senior team, and by 1997, at the age of 17, Wilhelmsson made his professional debut for the club. Early professional career. Örebro SK. Wilhelmsson's breakthrough in professional football came with Örebro SK, where he began to make a name for himself in Sweden's Allsvenskan league. His rapid rise through the ranks was due in no small part to his exceptional pace, dribbling ability, and creativity on the ball. His natural talent, combined with his desire to improve, made him one of the most exciting young talents in Swedish football. In Örebro, he played primarily as a winger, where he was able to utilize his speed and flair to take on defenders and deliver dangerous crosses into the box. During his time at Örebro, Wilhelmsson quickly gained a reputation as one of the most promising young players in Sweden. His technical abilities and vision made him an integral part of the team's attacking play. While Örebro wasn't a team competing for top honors in Swedish football at the time, Wilhelmsson's individual performances were a source of optimism for the club's supporters, and he was widely regarded as one of the most talented young players in the league. Wilhelmsson's time at Örebro SK also marked the beginning of his international recognition. His consistently strong performances caught the attention of scouts from larger Swedish clubs, as well as from clubs abroad. By the early 2000s, it became clear that Wilhelmsson was ready for a bigger challenge, and his next move would see him step up to a more competitive environment. Move to Djurgårdens IF and Swedish national team debut. In 2000, Wilhelmsson made a move to Stockholm-based Djurgårdens IF, one of Sweden's top clubs. This transfer marked a new chapter in his career, as Djurgården was a team competing for league titles and regularly participating in European competitions. The move to Djurgården allowed Wilhelmsson to test himself against stronger opposition in both domestic and international competitions. The combination of Djurgården's established infrastructure and the higher level of competition proved to be the perfect platform for him to continue his development. At Djurgården, Wilhelmsson quickly became an essential part of the team. His pace, creativity, and technical flair made him a nightmare for opposition defenders, while his vision and intelligence allowed him to link up effectively with his teammates. His ability to provide assists, combined with his potential to score goals, made him one of the league's standout players. It was during his time at Djurgården that Wilhelmsson first earned a call-up to the Swedish national team. His performances at club level made him a natural choice for Sweden's senior squad, and in 2002, at the age of 22, he made his debut for his country. His inclusion in the national team came just in time for the 2002 FIFA World Cup, where he was part of the squad that helped Sweden reach the quarter-finals. Although he did not play a major role in the tournament, his inclusion in the squad was an important step in establishing himself as one of Sweden's brightest young talents. International breakthrough and move to France. Following his success with Djurgården and the national team, Wilhelmsson's performances continued to attract the attention of clubs across Europe. In 2003, he made the move to France, signing with Ligue 1 side AS Monaco. This transfer marked a major milestone in Wilhelmsson's career, as it brought him to one of Europe's top leagues and placed him in a team with a rich history of success in both domestic and international competitions. At Monaco, Wilhelmsen's pace and creativity made him an exciting addition to the squad. His technical ability and flair on the ball were a perfect fit for the attacking style of play that Monaco was known for. During his time in France, Wilhelmsen helped the team challenge for league titles and make deep runs in European competitions, including the UEFA Champions League. Wilhelmsen's performances at Monaco earned him the respect of his teammates and the admiration of fans. His ability to take on defenders, create scoring opportunities, and contribute both in attack and defense made him one of the key players in the team. He also formed strong partnerships with other attacking players, adding further depth and variety to Monaco's offensive play. His time in Monaco was also significant for his development as a player. Playing against some of the best teams in Europe allowed him to improve his tactical awareness, and his technical ability flourished in one of Europe's most competitive leagues. Journey through Europe. Moves to Italy and England. After his success at Monaco, Wilhelmsen's career continued to progress with moves to several top clubs across Europe. In 2007, he moved to Italy to play for Serie A club Torino. The move to Italy was another step up in Wilhelmsen's career, as Serie A was known for its tactical rigidity and defensive strength. Although the transition was challenging, Wilhelmsen's flair and creativity helped him carve out a niche for himself in Italy's top flight. His time in Italy, however, was short-lived. In 2008, Wilhelmsen moved to the Premier League, signing with English club Hull City. In England, he was able to showcase his talents in a more physical and fast-paced league. At Hull City, Wilhelmsen continued to impress with his ability to beat defenders, deliver dangerous crosses, and create opportunities for his teammates. While Hull City was not one of the league's top sides, Wilhelmsen's individual performances stood out, and he was a regular starter in the team. Despite playing in several different leagues, Wilhelmsen remained an important part of the Swedish national team during this period. He continued to feature in major international tournaments, including the 2004 and 2008 UEFA European Championships, as well as the 2006 FIFA World Cup. His experience in top leagues across Europe, combined with his creativity and tactical intelligence, made him a key asset to Sweden's attacking setup. Early life and background. Christopher Ryan Burchell, known simply as Chris Burchell, was born on April 11, 1984, in Wolverhampton, England. Growing up in the heart of the West Midlands, Burchell was introduced to football at an early age, a sport that dominated the area. The Midlands has a rich footballing tradition, and young Chris showed an early affinity for the game, taking part in local leagues and youth teams in his neighborhood. His talent was evident from the beginning. Burchell's technical skills and vision on the field made him stand out among his peers. Although he was born in England, Burchell has a unique connection to Trinidad and Tobago through his father, a native of the Caribbean island. This dual heritage became important as Chris Burchell's footballing journey progressed, as his Trinidadian roots allowed him to represent the national team of Trinidad and Tobago. However, his early life was spent primarily in England, and it was there that he began to build his football career. By the time he reached his teenage years, Burchell was already part of the youth system at Wolverhampton Wanderers, a club with a long history in English football. He was part of their youth academy, where he continued to develop as a footballer. His early years in Wolverhampton's academy were crucial for shaping his understanding of the game, particularly his ability to dictate the tempo of matches from midfield. Professional breakthrough with Walsall. After impressing in the youth ranks at Wolverhampton Wanderers, Burchell found that breaking into the first team at such a competitive club would be a difficult task. As a result, in 2003, he made the decision to move to Walsall, a club in the Football League One, the third tier of English football, in search of more first-team opportunities. The move would prove to be a significant step in Burchell's career, as it allowed him to play regularly and gain valuable experience in senior football. At Walsall, Burchell quickly made a name for himself as a hard-working and talented midfielder. His natural passing ability, combined with a relentless work rate, made him a key player for the team. Burchell's versatility was also an asset. He could play both as a central midfielder and on the right side, where his pace and energy were valuable assets to the team. His performances at Walsall earned him recognition across the Football League, and he soon became one of the club's most important players. During his time at Walsall, Birchall played an instrumental role in the team's campaign during the 2003-2004 season, which ultimately led to their promotion to the Football League Championship. Birchall's contribution to this success solidified his reputation as a reliable and skilled midfielder, and he was instrumental in both the attacking and defensive phases of the game. International career with Trinidad and Tobago. While Birchall was making waves in English football, his dual heritage began to play an important role in his career. Having a Trinidadian father, Birchall was eligible to represent the national football team of Trinidad and Tobago. This connection was crucial in his decision to switch his allegiance to Trinidad and Tobago, and in 2004, Birchall made his debut for the national team. His decision to play for Trinidad and Tobago was not just a personal one, but also a significant boost to the team. At the time, the Trinidad and Tobago national team was on the rise, and Birchall's presence in the squad helped to further strengthen the midfield. Birchall brought a level of technical ability and composure to the team that complemented the more direct and physical style of play that was typical of the Soca Warriors. One of the standout moments of Birchall's international career came during the 2006 FIFA World Cup qualification campaign. Trinidad and Tobago's successful qualification for the World Cup was a historic achievement, as it marked the first time the country had ever reached the global tournament. Birchall played a significant role in the campaign, contributing to both defensive solidity and attacking creativity. His performances in the qualifiers were crucial to the Soca Warriors securing a spot in the World Cup, and Birchall's growing reputation on the international stage earned him the admiration of fans and pundits alike. At the 2006 FIFA World Cup in Germany, Birchall was one of the standout players for Trinidad and Tobago. Despite the team being placed in a tough group alongside England, Sweden, and Paraguay, Birchall and his teammates held their own. The team's 0-0 draw against Sweden in their opening match was one of the defining moments of the World Cup for Trinidad and Tobago, and Birchall's contribution in the midfield was invaluable in helping the team secure the point. Birchall's ability to control the tempo of the game and break up opposition attacks was crucial to Trinidad and Tobago's strong defensive performance. Although Trinidad and Tobago did not progress beyond the group stages of the 2006 World Cup, the tournament was a moment of national pride, and Birchall's performances were a key part of the team's success. Birchall's involvement in this historic achievement cemented his place in the hearts of Trinidadian football fans, and he became one of the most beloved players in the country. Playing in the UK and Europe. The move to Derby County and beyond following his international success and continued strong performances for Walsall, Birchall attracted interest from larger clubs, and in 2005, he made the move to Derby County, a team in the English Championship, the second tier of English football. This move represented a step up in Birchall's career, as he joined a club with a much larger fan base and greater expectations. At Derby County, Birchall faced greater competition for places. But he continued to impress with his consistent performances and versatility in midfield. During his time at Derby, Birchall continued to develop as a player and was a regular feature in the starting lineup. His passing range and ability to create chances from the middle of the park were valuable assets for the team. Despite the club's struggles during his time there, Birchall's work ethic and professionalism remained a hallmark of his time at Derby. After a brief spell at Derby County, Birchall moved to other clubs in England, playing for teams like Milton Keynes Dons and eventually moving to League One sides like Coventry City. These moves kept Birchall in the spotlight, as he continued to contribute with both his defensive and offensive abilities, earning respect from both teammates and opponents alike. Time in the United States, LA Galaxy and the MLS. In 2011, after several years in England, Chris Birchall made the decision to try his hand in the United States by joining Major League Soccer, MLS, side LA Galaxy. Birchall's move to the US marked a new chapter in his career, and he brought his experience from English football and international play to one of the biggest clubs in MLS. At LA Galaxy, Birchall joined a star-studded lineup that included David Beckham, Robbie Keane, and Landon Donovan. Playing alongside such high-profile players, Birchall's work rate, passing, and defensive abilities were seen as crucial to the team's overall success. During his time at LA Galaxy, Birchall won 2 MLS Cups, in 2011 and 2012, cementing his place as a key figure in the team's midfield. His ability to cover ground, break up attacks, and distribute the ball efficiently allowed the Galaxy to control matches and dictate tempo. Burchell's contributions helped the team secure both domestic success and international recognition. Post-retirement and legacy. After a successful spell in the U.S., Chris Burchell retired from professional football in 2015, ending a career that had spanned over a decade. Post-retirement, Burchell has remained active in football, particularly in coaching roles. He has worked with several youth teams, aiming to pass on the knowledge he gained throughout his playing career to the next generation of footballers. Chris Burchell's legacy is marked by his dedication to the sport, his technical ability, and his commitment to both club and country. His role in helping Trinidad and Tobago reach the 2006 FIFA World Cup, as well as his contributions to the clubs he played for, cement his status as one of the standout footballers of his generation. His leadership, both on and off the pitch, continues to inspire young players, and his contributions to the Trinidad and Tobago national team will forever be remembered in the country's football history. Early life and football beginnings. Daniel Andersson was born on September 29, 1979, in the city of Malmö, Sweden. Growing up in a family that valued sports, Andersson developed an early love for football. His first experiences with the game came at a young age when he joined the local football club, LB07, in Malmö. From the start, Andersson's talent was evident. He quickly progressed through the ranks, showing exceptional technical ability and an understanding of the game that set him apart from his peers. Malmö, being a football-centric city with a rich history in Swedish football, provided Andersson with the perfect environment to nurture his passion. He joined the youth academy of Malmö FF, one of Sweden's most successful clubs, at the age of 14. There, Andersson received top-tier coaching and further developed his skills. His technical skills, vision, and ability to control the ball with both feet marked him as a rising star in Swedish football. His versatility in midfield, coupled with his strong passing game, made him a natural fit for the club's tactical approach. Breakthrough with Malmö FF. Andersson's career at Malmö FF began to take shape when he made his debut for the first team in 1997. At the time, Malmö FF was one of the most prominent clubs in Sweden, with a rich history of domestic success and a reputation for developing young talent. The club was in the process of rebuilding after a period of decline, and young players like Andersson were seen as key to their future. In his early years with Malmö FF, Andersson was used primarily as a central midfielder, a position where his ability to dictate the tempo of the game and his defensive discipline were crucial. His passing range, vision, and composure under pressure made him one of the most reliable players on the pitch. Over time, he became a regular starter for the team, and his consistent performances earned him a reputation as one of the top midfielders in Sweden. During his time with Malmö FF, Andersson played an instrumental role in helping the club return to prominence. He contributed to Malmö's success in both domestic competitions and European tournaments. His leadership qualities were evident even at a young age, and he quickly became a key figure in the midfield. In 2004, he helped Malmö FF win the Allsvenskan title, the Swedish top division, a major achievement for the club after years of rebuilding. Move to Italy and Lazio. Following his success with Malmö FF, Andersson's performances in Sweden caught the eye of scouts from across Europe. In 2004, after a standout season with Malmö, he made a high-profile move to Italy to join SS Lazio, one of Italy's most successful clubs. The move to Serie A marked a significant step in Andersson's career, as he was now competing in one of Europe's most competitive leagues. At Lazio, Andersson faced a new challenge. Serie A was known for its tactical depth and defensive discipline, and the demands on midfielders were extremely high. However, Andersson adapted well to the Italian style of play. His technical ability, tactical awareness, and ability to read the game made him a valuable asset for Lazio. During his time in Rome, Andersson became known for his passing accuracy and his ability to control the tempo of the game from midfield. While he may not have been a regular starter every season, Andersson's influence on the pitch was undeniable when called upon. His time at Lazio also exposed him to the intensity of European competitions, including the UEFA Champions League and the UEFA Cup, now Europa League. These experiences at the highest level of club football helped elevate Andersson's game, and he gained valuable experience playing against some of the best players in Europe. Despite the challenges of adapting to a new league and environment, Anderson's time at Lazio was an important part of his career. He played with some of the best players in Serie A and honed his skills further, but after a few years, he decided to return to Sweden. Return to Sweden and resurgence at Malmö FF. In 2006, after his stint in Italy, Andersson returned to his boyhood club, Malmö FF. The return was seen as a homecoming, and Andersson was welcomed back with open arms by both the club and its passionate supporters. By now, he had gained experience playing in one of the top leagues in Europe, and his return to Malmö FF marked a new chapter in his career. Upon his return, Andersson quickly became the heart of the team's midfield once again. His leadership and experience, coupled with his technical skills, were crucial in helping Malmö FF reclaim its place at the top of Swedish football. In 2007, he played a key role in helping the team win the Allsvenskan title, a major achievement for the club. His passing ability and vision in midfield helped dictate Malmö's style of play, and his performances earned him widespread recognition as one of Sweden's top midfielders. Andersson's leadership on and off the field was one of the defining features of his time at Malmö FF. He was often seen as the team's captain and played a crucial role in mentoring younger players, passing on his experience from his time in Italy and European football. His presence in the midfield was indispensable, and he was known for his ability to break up opposition attacks and transition play quickly. Throughout his second stint at Malmö FF, Andersson continued to enjoy success, with the club consistently finishing near the top of the Allsvenskan table and competing in European competitions. He also earned several individual accolades, cementing his status as one of Sweden's top midfielders. His performances during this period helped establish Malmö FF as a dominant force in Swedish football once again. International career with Sweden. Daniel Andersson's performances for Malmö FF and Lazio earned him recognition at the international level, and he made his debut for the Swedish national team in 2000. Throughout his international career, Andersson was known for his composure, tactical intelligence, and ability to read the game. His versatility allowed him to play in various roles in midfield, both as a holding midfielder and an attacking option. Andersson was part of Sweden's squads for several major international tournaments, including the UEFA European Championships in 2004, 2008, and 2012. His contributions to the national team were vital, and he was often seen as a steadying influence in Sweden's midfield. His technical ability and leadership were crucial in helping Sweden compete against some of Europe's top teams. Though he did not always start every match, Andersson's experience and calm demeanor were indispensable when Sweden needed stability in key moments. One of the most notable moments in Andersson's international career came during the 2004 UEFA European Championship, where Sweden made it to the semi-finals. Andersson was a crucial part of the team, contributing both defensively and offensively. His performances in the tournament solidified his reputation as a top-level midfielder in European football. Though Andersson did not have the same high-profile international career as some of Sweden's other stars, his steady contributions to the team were crucial to Sweden's successes during the 2000s and early 2010s. Retirement and legacy. Daniel Andersson retired from professional football in 2013, bringing an end to a highly successful career that spanned over a decade at the top level. His legacy in Swedish football is one of consistency, versatility, and leadership. Whether playing for Malmö FF, Lazio, or the Swedish national team, Andersson was known for his ability to control games from midfield, his passing accuracy, and his tactical awareness. After retiring, Andersson stayed involved in football, taking up various roles within the sport. His deep knowledge of the game and his leadership qualities made him a respected figure in the Swedish football community. He also became involved in coaching and mentoring the next generation of Swedish football talent, passing on his extensive experience to young players. Daniel Andersson's impact on Swedish football extends beyond his individual achievements. His ability to play at the highest levels of both club and international football helped Sweden continue to maintain a strong presence in European and global football during his career. His legacy as a calm, composed, and intelligent midfielder will remain a lasting memory for fans of Swedish football for years to come. Early life and background. Dennis Lawrence was born on February 18, 1979, in the small village of Morvant in Trinidad and Tobago, a country known for its passion for football and its rich history in the sport. Growing up in an environment where football was a dominant part of the culture, Lawrence was immersed in the game from an early age. His family, although not affluent, supported his interest in football, and from a young age, it was clear that he had a natural talent for the sport. As a child, Lawrence played football on the streets, like many young kids in Trinidad, and it was here that he developed his love for the game. He played alongside his friends in local competitions and street leagues, honing his skills in an informal but competitive environment. His height and physical presence, combined with his natural talent, allowed him to quickly stand out as one of the best young players in his area. Despite the lack of advanced coaching facilities in his early years, Lawrence's raw talent was clear to all who watched him play. He was a tall, strong, and aggressive defender, qualities that would later define his playing style. His potential did not go unnoticed, and he quickly progressed through the youth ranks in Trinidad and Tobago, eventually earning a spot in the country's national youth teams. Rising through the ranks in Trinidad and Tobago. Denis Lawrence's formal footballing journey began when he joined the youth team of the well-known Trinidadian football club, Defence Force FC, which is part of the TT Pro League, Trinidad and Tobago's top football division. Playing for Defence Force, Lawrence developed his skills in a competitive environment that allowed him to further refine his game. He quickly became known as a central defender who was physically imposing and difficult to beat in aerial duels. At the age of 20, Lawrence made his debut for the senior team at Defence Force FC, marking the beginning of his professional career. His performances at the club level were solid, and he quickly established himself as one of the league's top defenders. His reputation for hard work, discipline, and leadership started to grow, catching the attention of scouts both locally and abroad. He soon became a regular feature in the Trinidad and Tobago national team as well, earning his first cap in 1999. As he gained more experience, Lawrence became more involved in the national team, contributing to various regional competitions and World Cup qualifiers. His solid performances in international fixtures ensured that he was becoming a key player for the Soca Warriors, Trinidad and Tobago's national football team. Breakthrough in the United Kingdom. Wrexham and Swansea. Despite his early success in Trinidad and Tobago, Denis Lawrence's ambitions extended beyond the confines of the Caribbean. In 2001, Lawrence made the leap to Europe, signing with Wrexham AFC, a club based in Wales that played in the English Football League. This move marked a significant step in Lawrence's career, as it allowed him to compete in a more advanced footballing environment and face tougher competition. At Wrexham, Lawrence began to make a name for himself in the English lower leagues. His commanding presence as a central defender, combined with his leadership qualities, quickly earned him a regular spot in the starting lineup. Lawrence's towering stature and aerial ability made him a difficult player to beat in the air, and his physicality on the ground ensured he was a dominant force at the back. His performances caught the eye of both Wrexham fans and football scouts, further solidifying his position as a top defender in the Football League. In 2002, after impressive performances for Wrexham, Lawrence moved to Swansea City, another Welsh football club. This time in the Football League Division 2. His time at Swansea proved to be a successful one, and he played a significant role in the team's defensive setup. During his spell at Swansea, Lawrence became known for his leadership skills, vocal presence on the field, and his ability to organize his defense. His stature and imposing physical attributes were complemented by his tactical understanding of the game. In the 2003-2004 season, Lawrence helped Swansea secure promotion to the Football League Championship, which represented a notable achievement for the club. He was an integral part of Swansea's defense, with his strength and experience helping them to withstand the challenges of higher-level competition. His reputation as a reliable and dependable central defender continued to grow during his time with the club. International career with Trinidad and Tobago. Denis Lawrence's international career is one of the most celebrated in the history of Trinidad and Tobago football. He made his first appearance for the Trinidad and Tobago national team in 1999, and over the next several years, he would go on to become a key figure for the Soca Warriors. Lawrence's leadership on the field, as well as his experience playing in Europe, made him a natural choice for the role of captain at times during his international career. One of the crowning achievements of Lawrence's international career came in 2006 when he was part of the Trinidad and Tobago squad that achieved the historic feat of qualifying for the 2006 FIFA World Cup in Germany. This qualification marked the first time that Trinidad and Tobago had ever reached the World Cup, and it was a momentous occasion for the nation. Lawrence, as one of the senior players on the team, was pivotal in helping the team navigate the tough World Cup qualifiers. His experience in European football was invaluable, and he used his leadership qualities to guide his teammates through difficult matches. At the World Cup, Lawrence's performances were a key highlight for Trinidad and Tobago. While the Soca Warriors were drawn into a challenging group alongside England, Sweden, and Paraguay, Lawrence's defensive solidity ensured that Trinidad and Tobago were competitive. The team earned a notable 0-0 draw against Sweden in their opening match, with Lawrence putting in a strong performance at the back. Though Trinidad and Tobago did not progress past the group stages, their qualification for the tournament was a historic achievement, and Lawrence's role in this success cemented his legacy as one of the most important players in Trinidad and Tobago's football history. Following the 2006 World Cup, Lawrence continued to represent Trinidad and Tobago in various international fixtures and qualifying campaigns, contributing to the team's efforts to reach the 2010 FIFA World Cup. Although Trinidad and Tobago did not qualify for the next World Cup, Lawrence remained a key figure in the national team, leading by example and inspiring younger players. Later club career and retirement. After leaving Swansea City, Denis Lawrence had stints at several other clubs, including a return to Wrexham in 2006. He continued to play at a high level, making valuable contributions both defensively and as a leader on the field. However, his playing time in the latter stages of his career became more sporadic due to injuries and the natural physical decline that all footballers face as they age. In 2009, after a few years of playing at lower league clubs in England, Lawrence decided to return to his native Trinidad and Tobago to finish his playing career. He joined the local club, San Juan Jablote, where he continued to showcase his experience and leadership in the domestic league before retiring from professional football in 2012.